So, we've all heard the buzz about AI, right? That it's going to change everything about how we work. But what does that actually look like on a random Tuesday afternoon? Well, today we're going to find out. We are running a little experiment, pitting a totally normal manual workflow against an AI-assisted one to see what really happens. This is pretty much the whole idea behind our explainer. We're getting past all the hype and asking a simple question. What happens when you just hand over a normal, kind of boring professional task to an AI? It's a straight-up head-to-head competition. Human versus human plus AI. Okay, so let's get into it. We're calling this the AI Takeover Challenge. And the idea couldn't be simpler. We take one common task and we do it twice. First, the old-fashioned way. Just you, your brain, and a keyboard. Then we do the exact same thing again, but this time we bring in an AI tool to be our partner. We just want to see the real, measurable difference. To really see the impact, we've got to set our baseline. What does the before picture look like? We picked a task that I think is going to feel super familiar to just about anyone who's ever worked in an office or done any kind of research. It's that kind of job that's important for sure, but man, it can be a real slog.
And here it is, the task. Read, understand, and then summarize 3 pretty dense technical articles for a quick team update. We're talking about a grand total of 15 pages of really specific, kind of dry text. This is a classic example of where work can just grind to a halt.
So, how does this normally go? You know the drill. You pour some coffee, you sit down, and you force yourself to read every single word. You're highlighting things, trying to find the key points, copying and pasting quotes. Then you face that dreaded blank page and just start trying to build a summary from nothing. You write, you delete, you rewrite, you check your facts. It takes a ton of time and a whole lot of mental energy. Okay, now for the fun part, the after picture. We are taking on the exact same task, same articles, same goal, but this time we're not going it alone. We're bringing in a large language model to be our, let's call it, superpowered assistant. Now, the process here looks completely different. It's way less about the grunt work and way more about being a good director. First, you give the articles to the AI. Then, and this is the most important part, you write a really clear, specific prompt. We're not just saying summarize this. We're giving it rules, like find the top 3 takeaways and write it for a non-expert. And then, and this is absolutely key, the final step is all you. You take what the AI gives you and you polish it, refine it, and add your own human expertise. So there you have it, the 2 approaches, the manual grind versus the AI partnership. One is about pure endurance. The other is about smart delegation. So who won? What did the numbers actually say? Let's get to the results. Wow, okay, the results here are pretty staggering. Let's just look at this. Time spent? It went from an hour and a half down to just 15 minutes. The cognitive load, that's just the amount of brain power you have to use, dropped from high to low. You're basically a supervisor instead of a laborer. And check out the final quality. Excellent, but notice that little note there, with human refinement. That is so important. Let's just put a fine point on it. If you do the math, the AI-assisted workflow was 6 times faster. Not a little faster, not twice as fast, 6 times faster. That is a truly massive leap in productivity from changing just one thing in your process. And that brings us to the most important takeaway from all of this. This experiment isn't about proving that humans are obsolete, not at all. It's about showing how we can elevate our own work by forming a totally new kind of partnership. The AI does the heavy lifting, and the human provides the strategy, the creativity, and that final stamp of approval. What we've just done here is a perfect, real-world example of something called workflow optimization. It sounds technical, but it's not. And the amazing thing is that modern AI tools are making this kind of optimization available to literally anyone. You don't need to be an engineer, you just need to know what you want to accomplish. So why does any of this matter to you? Well, the value is just huge. This approach frees you up from the most tedious, soul-crushing parts of your job, and it gives you that time back. That's time you can now spend on the things that actually require a human brain, coming up with creative ideas, thinking strategically, and adding that final layer of insight that, frankly, no machine is ever going to have. So, as we wrap up, I just want to leave you with this one question. Think about your to-do list for tomorrow. What's that one item on there that just makes you groan? The one you always put off until the last minute? Maybe, just maybe, that's the perfect task for you to run your own little AI takeover challenge.